Hello and welcome to this RTS Yorkshire conversation. I'm delighted today that I'm joined by Jo Schofield from the Film and Television Charity. Now, but first I want to give you a quick word of warning, which is that this is being recorded today, which is the 2nd of June. We know the world is changing very rapidly. Its circumstances externally are changing very rapidly. The Film and Television Charity, it responds very quickly to the needs of our sector. So what we're saying is relevant for today, but it might have changed by the time you watch this on YouTube. So if in doubt, go and check with the website. But that's enough from me for now, because I'm here to welcome Jo to talk to us about the Film and Television Charity. But first of all, Jo, how are you doing with this? We're into week 12 of lockdown. I know it's been changed a bit, but we're still very much in a lockdown situation. So how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, thank you. We have 2 small children at home, so it's like many other people, it's a juggle. We are both working, we're homeschooling, we're feeding people, trying to keep the peace with small kids. So it's a juggle. But those are the times we're in, and all we can do is try our best. That's, literally all we can do. And have a glass of wine when needed.
Absolutely, absolutely, and well deserved. And I know some people are saying that that glass of wine is getting earlier and earlier in the day, but I doubt whether that's happening in your household. So we'll move on from that.
Couldn't possibly comment.
But thank you for joining us today for this important conversation about the charity. First of all, tell us a little bit about the charity.
Well, the charity's got a really interesting history. It's actually 100 years old. Or coming up to 100 years old very shortly, and it's gone through a period of change in the past few years to really make sure that we offer support that's suitable and modern for such a fast-changing and incredible industry. We offer support to the film, television and cinema industry, so we cover all those different areas, and we try to do that through emotional support, financial support, and also looking at what the industry needs and how we can fill that really, and how we can really offer bespoke, quite quickly changing support depending on what's going on.
Thank you. And obviously at the moment there's a lot of demand upon your time, but equally I've seen through social media, etc., the different things that are being offered by the Film and Television Charity. So just run through some of the things that you can offer to people at the moment.
Well, at the moment we have just, as you say, we're obviously in territory that nobody has been in before, and certainly industry has been hit particularly hard with that. We have offered 2 funds in very quick response to what's going on, 2 emergency relief funds. We've fundraised £3 million to help fund that, where we've been offering people either grants or small loans of up to £2,500 per person to try and bridge the gap between getting any government support or just not being able to qualify for that. So we're offering financial support. We are also offering mental health support and emotional support in what is a very difficult time, through a 24-hour, 7 days a week helpline, which is something that we always offer actually. So there's lots of different help available there. And we have just finished running something called the Community Fund, which is something that to really harness people's entrepreneurial spirit and the initiative that people are showing while they're not working or they're furloughed, and they want to pay something forward within the industry and support people who are being impacted by what's going on. So we have been offering small grants to people to try and get those ideas off the ground as well, which is, I think, testament to the industry and how creative it is and how it can still thrive in really extraordinary circumstances. We also have something called the Big White Wall, which is free to access for everybody. Anybody who wants it can access it, and there's a ton of different resources on there to help people emotionally through this time. And because we are the charity for the film, the TV and the cinema industry, we're obviously keeping a close eye on how people are impacted. We did a snapshot survey, a really quick 48-hour survey, where I think 93% of people are out of work. So we estimate there's about at least 74,000 people in the industry who aren't working at the moment. So the impact on that, on the industry and the people in it, is really significant. So you know, I do believe that any work that the charity can do is going to make a positive impact in some way or other. And there's still lots of work for us to do, because you know, there is no immediate end in sight, and with production slowly looking like it's going to start again, we're not going to go back to what we consider normal anytime soon. So it's, you know, it's ever changing, and we need to keep reacting to that.
That's quite a significant figure, isn't it? 74,000 people possibly not in work at the moment, who could all benefit from accessing the resources and the support that you have. But at the same time, I think it's fair to say that the Film and Television Charity is building momentum in terms of people becoming aware of yourselves and what you have on offer. I know when I first met you, it was an eye-opener to me, the amount of things that were available. And I'm sure that's the same for other people. But 74,000, that's an awful lot of people. Is it relatively straightforward to be able to access the support from yourselves, whether it's mental health support or whether it's actually financial support? How do people go about doing that?
Well, the different initiatives are all accessible on the website. So first of all, I would encourage anybody who thinks they might be able to benefit from going to our website and seeing what's on there and what's available. The funds, the community fund has just closed, but we are constantly looking at different ways that we can roll out support. So I would say keep looking on there, because things do change quickly. In terms of mental health support, as I said before, we have a 24-hour 7-day-a-week helpline, which is confidential. Anybody can access that, and from there you can also get signposted for other areas of support that you may need. So we cover things like legal support, potentially different areas of advice. We can potentially cover some costs for some short-term counselling. There's lots of different ways that you can benefit, and all details are on our website. We also do things like short-term one-off grants. So if you find your fridge has broken down and you're not working because of what's going on, we can look at covering the cost for that. Or if you're, you know, you have some other sort of domestic crisis that's essential to living day to day, we can potentially help with that. And that tends to be turned around very quickly. So we have a fantastic team who make sure that if you need access to that one-off grant, then you get the money quickly. So lots of different ways that we can help. Most of them extremely practical, and others very, very emotional. I mean, we are particularly concerned with mental health. Prior to the crisis, but certainly during this time, it's, you know, who can guess the true impact of what that's going to have. And we earlier this year commissioned a big piece of research around mental health with the Work Foundation that was pioneering. It hadn't been done before on the scale that had been done, and that had really some incredible response. We had 9,000 people respond to that in quite a short period of time, which highlighted that 9 out of 10 people in the industry have had some sort of mental health issue. So there's already an existing crisis around mental health in our industry, and you know, given the current circumstances, that's more important than ever for our organisation to look at as well.
Yeah, and the report's available on your website, I think. I think that's where I read it. Of course, that was done, as you say, that was done way back before this happened. Well, way back, it feels like way back, but it isn't, of course. It was just in February. And it was obviously very prescient. As you say, you know, it highlighted the impact within the industry on people, on people's mental health and the mental ill health that there was there. So clearly this is something when we come out of this that we need to have a focus on and look and see what we can do. I mean, as you say, it's an incredibly creative industry to work in. Of course it is, full of creative people. And we should be able to find a way of supporting everybody within that, regardless of regardless of who they are, where they come from, whatever, that we should be able to support them. And that it was a very, very important and easily accessible report. That was the other thing about it. It was very easily accessible to read it and to understand what on earth is going on in our sector. So I think the work that you're doing now and the work that you'll be doing going forward will be really, really important to help make this, help the industry bounce back out of the current crisis, but also support it in terms of things like mental ill health. So
absolutely, yeah. I think in some ways the industry needs to reframe how it works coming out of this crisis, because certainly the Looking Glass report that we commissioned highlighted such serious areas around culture and the way that we work, and also the way that we offer support around mental health in the industry. There's a real opportunity for us to learn from that as we move forward. The charity is working with a really quite a pioneering mental health task force, which are senior bodies across the industry who've committed to working together to really look at the practices and create some culture change around mental health. We have got a big initiative called the Whole Picture Programme, which is fundamental to what we're doing at the moment around mental health, and that's looking to address those key changes that piece of research have highlighted. But that's no small task, because it's there's so many issues that affect so many different people within the industry. And absolutely, Fiona, as you say, everybody deserves to have that equal playing field in this industry, and that currently doesn't happen, unfortunately. But I do think there's a real opportunity for us to examine how we work and what we can do better once we all take this time to pause and hopefully kind of reapproach how we do those things. There is an opportunity, as well as it being quite a scary time.
Yeah, well, that's one of the good things about the creative industries, isn't it? We do see challenges as opportunities as well, as things that we can do. Now, I forgot to say at the beginning that you're actually the hub manager for the North for the film and television. So you're obviously deeply situated and deeply invested in the North. How important is the North to you and to the charity?
We are really committed to the nations and regions and having representations in those areas. And as you say, I cover the north of England, which is a big area. I'm from the north. I'm a girl from Yorkshire. I'm really passionate about the north of England, and wherever I've lived in the world, not always in the north or even in England itself or Britain, I've always tried to champion the north, because we have such amazing talent, and we're not always appreciated as much as we should be outside of the north. And I'm a big advocate to have that recognised. It doesn't matter if you've got a Leeds accent or a Doncaster accent or a Geordie accent. It's there's so much talent to tap into here, and I want everybody to recognise that. I'm really keen to do what I can to support the industry during this time, and also myself and other people who work in different hubs, we're committed to trying to support people who perhaps have additional barriers anyway prior to this COVID-19 crisis that the report that we commissioned highlighted. How can we support people in the regions who already have barriers, and how can we help get them back into work? So that's something that we're looking at specifically in the nations and regions, which I think is really worthwhile as well.
I agree with you, and I look forward, once we're out of all of this, to working with you on that through the RTS. So just before we go, is there anything else you want to add about the work that you do?
just that there's a lot going on. I know I appreciate that it sounds like we're extremely busy, and we are. But really, if anybody needs any support or help or wants to look at the work that we do, then please have a look at the website. You know, there is lots of support on there, and that's why we're here. We're here to support people. And thank you as well for your continued support of our work and the industry at large.
Well, what else could we do? The work that you do is absolutely so important and fundamental to what we believe in as well. So thank you very much. And I realise I forgot to say at the beginning, who the heck am I? But I'm Fiona Thompson. I'm chair of the Royal Television Society Yorkshire Centre. And it's been my delight this afternoon to talk to Jo Schofield from the Film and Television Charity. Thank you so much, Jo. I wish you, your family and your colleagues well, and I hope we soon get to meet in person again. So,
me too.
Take care, and take care everybody else. Stay safe. Bye now.